You live. It's a pretty decent picture. It's kind of just, guys, that was just my face. Is my mic picking up all right? Is my mic picking up all right? I don't know. Oh, sure. Hi. It's me again. I don't really know how this is going to work. I've done this before, but not really. I don't know, I just threw music on and started singing, and I felt your presence. So that's what's up. I don't know how much I'm going to talk, because I hate talking. Like, for real. It's my least favorite mode of communication. And it's like my pet peeve that we should be pigeonholed. How's that for volume? I don't want it to distort. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Volume 122%. Input. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you have to do it. That's one of the lies of slavery. It's like, look, you're really good at math, science, picking up things, putting down things, hitting balls, catching balls. So you should probably just like do that. Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna stop at the first thing that I'm good at, because like you should just do what we're good at. Then that makes the basic assumption that we're really just good at like one thing or not a lot of things. So we should probably just like stick to what we're good at, which is almost like never what you find first that you're good at. And if you're lucky, like Fortuna, the goddess, not like chance, although chance is such a sexy word. It's not an accident, anyways, what I'm trying to say. You'll do enough things that you don't like that you realize that you can be good at everything. So yeah, I'm good at talking, but it's my least favorite thing to do with you. It's really just like a precursor for other things, or like an afterthought. Blah 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 blah. And I treasure like the vlogs that you and I have shared together up until now. But like I've got like a sourish taste in my mouth for it. That's different than the bitter that I've healed from. And this one is just like I'm allowed to not like things and to like other things more. I just want more. I'm endeavoring friendship, but like I'm insisting on the pattern, on the cosmic divine template, not the general one, not the only one, but the best one for ease of loving connections between conscious beings. And me and the trees and the animals, except for dogs, I think that people, like, we've got that consciousness thing going on in the clouds. Like, it's good, but they don't have to like suffer in the same way that disrupts. No, who am I saying? Of course it does. Like cultural societal constructs that get in the way of consciousness connecting. But what you don't recognize, what is not recognized, can be like subversively attained, which is why I have the best relationship with the sky and the ground. And green things. And also, I recognize the opportunity for this being a platform that's a little less. Hi, my name is Elliot, and this is actually how I am if we just hang out, like rambly. And I love teaching. I love teaching. But for me, there's no distinction between teaching and hanging out. All conversation is teaching. All connection is teaching. That's rhythm, that's harmony, that's resonance. It's the universe. It's brilliant. The constancy of evolving omnidirectionally, interplanally, simple like. But waxing a little less poetic, the world is so ripe for our truth. And thirsty, hungry, craving for the sweetness. And the bitterness that I've overcome is that this is the stupidest platform for bringing people together and for teaching. But unlike my wiser self, I've let that get in the way of me utilizing it to that end. Because just because something's worse than you can envision doesn't mean that it's not the most beautiful step on the way. And it had to be there if it is there, which is here. So just because it's a stupid platform for connecting and the worst for connecting and teaching doesn't mean it's not the best if you want it to actually happen now. I don't know the song, but all the songs are saying different versions of you and me. Who invented music? The universe. Why do we like it? Why does it sound good? Because it makes sense. Move towards it. That's the only thing like red and blue around the you know. What was I saying? Yeah, and you know this because I say it every time, but I don't want to forget. Or rather, like, seize the opportunity to recognize that even in my bitterment, black coffee, dark chocolate, Elliot. um, that I'll do whatever. Not even the hardest thing. Just whatever I can intuit and think of and get myself to move. If it means, in my heart's estimation, getting closer to the dream of a better yesterday. The first time falling for the first time, everything before that was just stepping and climbing and dropping. It's the first time that I'm falling for the trail is back. I never wanna let go. No. And healing our greatest gifts should be the hardest thing that we can each do for ourselves and each other. Because otherwise, what else would be hardest? Probably something else that we're actually even greater at. That's a part of like my own like healing in this, in like my meditations and my cosmic aloneness, which is not singular. That's good. True story. That's what happens. I've been like guided towards resetting my detoxing, resetting, recalibrating like my neuroreceptors, my dopamine receptors, like the neurochemical relationships between action, reaction, motivation, reward, swinging. Which I'm especially societally acute to, because I've got AD, which is to say, I love it. I love having AD. Not ADHD. My grandpa asked me what AD stands for the other day, and I couldn't tell him. I forgot. I was like, "That's so awesome," and he gave me, because he's such an awesome guy. He's my best friend. Definitely not always that way, but it doesn't matter what was always, because now trumps everything. He's the best. It's like, there's nothing like, don't let anything like be a crutch or like something that brings you down or makes you less than. I'm like, you're the fucking best for saying that. I love you. It totally doesn't. It's only ever been a boon and a blessing, as like a like symptomatic categorization of recognition that places like a normalcy around uh, like behavior that's like makes you less alone and like something's wrong with you that's like untraceable. Anyways, like novelty seeking, impulse behavior, all disorder, be it emotional, mental, physical, uh, is a societal, cultural, is a reflection of your environment. Uh, that is macrocosmic and that is microcosmic or microscopic. In terms of macrocosmic, fuck it. If we go there, I don't care. But in the relatable microcosmic, microscopic, I like microcosmic. It makes me feel huge. What up? Don't need, I'm not even gonna enter that. It's like that was blush worthy. No, that's, oh fuck! I love this song. I've heard it like once or twice before. It's the same song. It's like that's why I looked over. I was like, and this slander. I want to listen to my favorite song after this. It's so good. Is this like a dramatic pause, or is it just gonna be quiet? No, it's got tons of dramatic pauses. It's like 4 songs in one. This is called Slander. Is the artist? It's called Love Is Gone, featuring Dylan Matthew. Complete process time 7 minutes. It's a cool music video. Apparently, that's the first time I'm seeing it. Not the first time I saw it, but part of my like stimulation necessity is not multitasking, but like multiple channels of like movement. Yeah, it was sick. Okay, I'll save this first because I'm just gonna sing after this. I can't help it. It's like, uh, I love when we find these like nuggets of like juicy fucking music, like the seasonal. Oh my god, it's my favorite song. It just comes on and uh uh I was saying na, 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 oh yeah, delayed gratification. Okay, so FYI, to detox your like dopamine, which is an easy way to relate to it. I'm calling to like intuitively recognize is like your motivation. It's related to energy, but it's more related to feeling rewarded. But like in the moment, dopamine is not uh, released or excited upon reward. It's the rewarding, it's the getting there, it's the feels good doing it. So, in a way, it's like motivation, and its pathways are like primordially, like ancestrally linked or genetically uh, linked towards kind of like stress responses as like, you know, survive. But just because we have body parts that like use like are, I want to say vestigially, which is to say, okay, like a vestigial body part is a body part that we have that we like evolved out of not using, but we still have it as like an artifact of our less evolved state. There's nothing on the human body that is vestigial. Absolutely nothing. And it's not, it doesn't have to be hypothesis. Like in my own study and research and like experiential like experiential theory testing examination, everything has a purpose, and it's like never what the animals use it for, except for what it is. Like our teeth and dolphins, or our forehead and dolphins. The vibrations in like the dolphin's teeth are like transmitters of their sound, and also receptors. It's like the tuning of their echo location, echo adherence. But the forehead is what we call like the bulb, or whatever, is actually where they like hear. And we think we hear with our ears, just like we think we see with our eyes. And just like we think our teeth are just there to mush food, when that's no. It's like, this is what I learned tinkering, and is like, just because something is made for something doesn't mean that it can't be used for something else, and doesn't mean that new things are possible when you combine like different parts together. Hi, welcome, human being. So going back to dopamine, that's me listening to the music in like 5 seconds. It's more than reward. It's more than momentous. It's like saying, like adrenaline. Adrenaline in our more evolved bodily states doesn't flood us with hormones and fight or flight. In chronic states of stress, it doesn't kill us as a reflection of our environment. Like, what does adrenaline do? Like, sharpens your senses, makes you stronger, makes you faster. It's like, yo, why don't I just be on like an adrenaline drip all day, every day? What up? And the truth is, that's our opportunity. Every facet of our like neurochemicology is available to adapt to its whatever its environment it sees, it seeks, or as like opportune, beautiful, easy. And all environment is perceptual. And I have no idea how true that is, but you couldn't go too extreme with it. It's like all the way true. Everything is inside you. So if you want something changed, you got to change it inside you first. And just like the magic of our bodies, which is a bazillion different parts learning to be one, it's like you and I, it's like society. It's like we are co-creating this manifest reality. But there's only so much that each of us can do if our perceptions don't align. You see this, I see that. It's like, okay, cool. There's only so much though that can happen here. If that means we're not going to be connecting further. I don't know why I said that. Probably good conversation. But to wrap up the dopamine detox, like bullshit, is I've got this love-hate relationship with like novelty seeking and not being able to delay gratification so much. Apparently, like whatever that means to people. It's like doing what's good for the long term, even though it's not fun in the short term. And upon exploring that, like post, like present again, because like whatever you think you've healed from, there's always more love you can pour into it. And it can be easy to get over once you know, like we can drop the struggle. And just because the answer doesn't seem to fix a problem right away doesn't mean the same answer won't fix a problem if you just keep knowing it. Like I'm worthy, and I don't, and also I don't know. It's a great, like I don't know how to love. I don't know how to receive love. I don't know how to even imagine anyone loving me as much as I love someone, anyone. Like imagine feeling that, like believe it. It's like I can rationalize it. I can, like I can know it. I know it, but like getting it into my body, getting it into my feeling, getting it into my heart, to touch that place, even though I've had really beautiful, gorgeous, divine moments of like transcendent, loving inspiration and motivation moving me, I also know that I don't know it. I don't know that what that feels like enough to know that I know that I've been blocking myself from receiving it. Because it's like I can't believe someone would love me as much as I love them, which isn't like a quantity thing, it's a quality thing, which is just all. It's only one setting. And because it's kind of really super foreign, I think to all of us or a lot of us. Anyways, it's not like I block it like I don't believe is possible, but because I don't know, it's like I block it because I forget that that's available to me. So by not holding space for that unknown specifically, I like neglect to receive it. But I don't know any of that. I don't know any of it. I don't know how to like be any of that. But I've learned that if I just give like God, spirit, the I don't know, but it's like I don't know, but it helps. It teaches, it gives. And delaying gratification is stupid. Doing what's good for the long term when it doesn't feel good in the short term is unnatural. Fuck that. Everything is supposed to feel good all the time. We just, it's our relationship to that. And like, we can't, like, who blames us? When they're like islands in the sand, right? Like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. Oh, this feels good. It's like when good is your normal drip. You can't take it for granted because you're doing it. It's what you are, it's what you're a part of. And novelty seeking is available in every instant. That's what makes living in this like collected creation of weird, defunct, dysfunctional, socio-political, planetary being, ascending, descending, resolving. So fascinating when I'm in a good mood to say it like that instead of being like, fuck everything, I still want to die. I didn't think I did, but it did, yeah, right now it's just fuck it. It's like hit fucking next. Play another game. I'm like, got it already. Even you got it already. Let's just fucking move on. This is boring. Right? So after I concede that, like, upon examination, fuck delaying gratification, I then reassert the practice of boredom and delaying gratification. Not because it's a necessary evil, but because I find the angel in it. It's like those are just words. Delaying gratification. I don't even have to put it another way anymore. Because with practice, I can just recognize and make the meaning of it now in the moment. What's most loving true? The opportunity. Because every word you hear, every song, every stub of the toe is the universe, is spirit, nudging you towards love, towards itself, towards yourself, and towards each other. And there are roundabout ways. I hate talking. It's my favorite song. Oh, I fucking love this song. It's so pretty. Everything is new to me. Sleep is in a distant dream, slowing down the speed of time. Don't let me crash down tonight. I just want to
Hi, it's Katrina from long-living reptiles who've been around since before the time of the dinosaurs to a marine species that can technically live forever. Here are 10 of the oldest living creatures on
I'm super. Oh, that's not around. So keep me in the state of mind. Tell me that it's real life. You are super. You are super. Oh. I'm superhuman. Oh, it's not a grand delusion. So keep me in the state of mind. Tell me that it's real life. 'Cause with you I'm superhuman. Superhuman. Everything is new in love. It's stronger than both of us. Together we can spark the flame and freeze the world to numb the pain. I just wanna feel what I feel, what I feel. And it's just you and me. I'm falling on my knees just to see you. I can stay with you. I'm superhuman. No, it's not a grand delusion. So keep me in that state of mind. Tell me that it's real life. 'Cause with you I'm superhuman. 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 Cause with you I'm superhuman now. No, it's not a grand delusion. So keep me in that state of mind. Tell me that it's real life. 'Cause if you're something, your love's superhuman. I think that no, whatever. I guess I basically perform on my balcony because I smoke and I sing, and especially with this, like everyone's home, I'm like fucking bored. But whatever, we're like neighbors. Especially everyone's. I'm like people that would be my friends if like apartments didn't separate people instead of just cramming them under the same roof and between walls. It's like that song comes on. It's like everyone's like, oh, I love that song. They come out to enjoy it with me. Black Mirror, redemption, melodic, redemption, dubstep, chop. Oh, I love it so hard. Let's give Slander another shot. This one's love again. What was the first one called? Oh yeah. What am I doing? I'm just also I don't want to talk, but I'll play music, and I want to like it helps me to like do shit that I don't really want to do because I'm doing it with you. Like right now, I'm applying for a free membership on Code Academy. As an opportunity of this whole economic pandemic. Sunset and then the sunlight running in. Normally, when I stand getting around you, know I'm gonna stop is down my breath, and I don't need no one drop in the like oh my eyes now. Singing the money, I'm singing the money. I was just saying that. This is how you. Tell us more about your employment situation. I hate these things. It's like I'm not words. I'm a man. I teach yoga. Hot yoga. Not the most hygienic seeming. Despite the like truth. Despite the I wanna say detoxified reality. Cause it's another day, I've been just like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can rely on it, let the sun is gonna come up, man is gonna set again, dusk and then, normally when I get you it's like, maybe that's a little too philosophical. But despite the detoxified truth of the environment, private clientele in isolation, gyms restricted when not closed, and outside urban areas one is not allowed to hold space or remain stationary. by, I'm going to say, lawful policy. Pedestrians, because that's all we are. Must keep moving. Towards the way. As a self-employed profession, my business and livelihood. Literally disappeared. Literally become denied of me. In friendship, would I describe my situation specifically as that? No. But yeah, I'm not lying. I don't do that. How do you think Code Academy Pro will help? I have been I've been studying coding as a hobbyist. As a hobbyist, like some that I like to do, and I don't like to do it for money. I just like to do it for a little body, live. I can do it for fun. I don't need to worry about money and fun. But I think nothing but a little bit of something that I gotta do. The better part of a decade now. There were times when I thought I would career transition to full-time programmer. And I have designed, what's one of those like bullshitty industry words? I don't know. I'm glad I forgot it. Let's put a period in there somewhere. Yeah. I have designed websites, web Patience. And network. Mhm. I blew up the internet with my power. I have designed websites, web applications, and solutions for enterprises. Contracting. Gotta use that word. But I'll put a little sub in front of it with a dash connecting like trying to do it quickly, not slowly like I'm dashing, dash, lean, smashing, subcontracting, developers. To execute my vision in lieu of my technical skill set. I love the industry. And believe that in these trying times, it is not an accident that I happened with free peas upon your inviting email. Continue. Oh, expressing generosity as a team and a team. I think that's 1,000 characters. Now is the time. It's not 1,000 characters. To be all that excites me. And with the time and the urgency of my needs, true story, I believe the next level, the program, your pro academic program, because pro is just like too much fun to say, less fun to read. Pro, yeah, pro guy, yeah, pro. The next level, I believe the next level. Next makes sense when you say it, and less sense when you read it. I'm leaving pro, like pro academic program. Like no, I made a deal about it, and it makes me smile. Me smiling is what the trees love. Beyond your free offerings, I have taken advantage of. I have enjoyed. Maybe just the assistance I most need and most enjoy the assistance that we needed. So I dream of being successful, happy, and free. Add a photo of yourself optional. This is me putting myself out there because that's a solid no. But part of my reaching out is making myself available to anything that the good and the good could use. So the good and the good, and you be more like you. Me too. I don't want to live in the world without you. I don't want to live in the world without you. I don't want to live in a world that don't got you. Submit application. See, I never would have done this without you. It's hard for me to do bullshit like this. I know it doesn't make sense to some people, but it's like, wow, you're really smart, and you can like dance and like sing and like, wow, yeah, I was never as good at those things, and some things I'm unreasonably make no sense to me. It makes sense to you. You're awesome. So how about I don't judge me for what I suck at. You don't judge you for what you suck at. We share those stories. We just appreciate each other's awesomeness as unforgivingly unmundane. Because I think your ability to do that stuff you do is remarkable. Submit application. Okay, check that box. Is there anything else that I want to do without just me? I'll sort through my notes and then I'll let us go. Just my loss. More than forgive the process. the process of forgiveness. The opportunity of simultaneous time and chaos is the newborn soul. Again, science is always in doubt and faith is certain. I love children like screaming and glee. Protect, nurture, cultivate, love your self-image, our psyche. Hurts and offends me, but I don't blame you for letting me snooze my choice how I respond to every anything. So I either express their vulnerability less or defend myself. Reasonably, I do not have a well thought of plan. Aim. Fire, that's so good it's worth saying one more time. No, I'm not repeating myself. It's like another shot after the first one. Aim and fire. Here comes the third. It's the one that comes after the first and the second. Like the double tap and the 1-4. Not good. Do not have a well thought of plan. Aim. Fire. Then double tap. Bam. Tap, tap, bam. Tap that ass. Bam. That's actually worth. Just because we don't know everything that's going on the whole time doesn't mean that the whole time everything is going on inside and around and moving us all around each other to make some good. But if we can figure out the paintbrush, the paint stir, can we learn to be an artist? Our thoughts have forms. Our thoughts are projected. They don't have to be projected, but they get projected. And part of our enslavement, part of the bullshit, part of our own like self-crutched, self-destructive tendency, but also like the multiple time, multidimensional, like, oh wow, we can steal energy from other dimensions and get free energy. That's great. It's like whenever I heard that, I'm like, isn't that awful? Doesn't that mean that the other dimension, like, is that good for that? Like, don't they need it? Yeah. So like, it's almost like our energy gets stolen from in that way by like well-meaning assholes. And the energy they steal isn't fire, gold, or even electricity. It's thoughts of love you make. It's every picture fantasy. Where do you think Disney gets it from? Rescue me, rescue you, save the world, it's true. Instead of it happening here, it's happening on a screen in another dimension. It's stealing from you, me, and we deserve better than a movie. We deserve to move. One foot in front of the other. Or fly or glide or slide or just slip like it's just you and me on the grass green of a blue sky. Twilight eyes suffering from laughing till our guts split guts, laughing so hard like losing roses in the springtime blossoming, blooming. That's what I see, like all the things that smile. You remind me, I'm the only one for your both things. Only one thing, you remind me. Oh, someone like some something feels a lot like you, and on you just don't love like it. So why not think I'll put us beside each other, peace and divide nothing, something is inside me, and I'm trying out to that day and you will hold on forever. You never say never. Do not have a well thought of plan. Aim, fire. It's like when you plan things, they get stolen. They get stolen in time. They get stolen by future you that's not you. It's like don't say like your positive things in the future. Don't say the things that you want. Like I'm going to. You know how that's kind of like got some like trendiness. It's true, but it's more almost like literal, or there's substance to that truism. It's not like a psycho trick. When you when you plan something, you restrict it, you limit it, and that's why plans are awesome. But plans, in truth, are nothing like the plans we call them. They're nothing like our fucking timers and our clocks and our schedules. Plans have no repeating parts, and they're alive. Planet, aim, fire. When I have thought feelings, defending my thoughts and actions mentally, a self-talk chatter against the doubt I perceive from others, especially family and my needing to convince myself that I don't doubt me, and this is why, with what I already know, fills me with trust. Fills me with trust. What if I believed in me, in the world? Like, I believe in me, but I suffer from not being understood, not being accepted, not belonging, not to the world, but because, like, the earth and the world, my own friend, but me in it, I've been there. That's part of like our loving opportunity and the curse. To suffer so much. It's how we got to like so much the root of so much of our inner hurt. Not because it's more true, not because we are so bad or the worst. That's not the case at all. We're really not that bad. But unjustly, doing all the right things to create right results. So by finding what's wrong, ultimately we discover that there's nothing wrong. And what was can be overwritten. We were away for this. I feel tired after I smoke. Fatiguing. Not always, but maybe always. It's That's why I wrote it down. Ship of Theseus. The ship of Theseus is the like ancient Greek ancient Greek philosophy thought experiment of Theseus's ship. As the ship wears and you keep replacing the parts, when you eventually replace all the parts, not at once, but eventually, is it still the same ship, or is it another ship? Yes and no, obviously. Only in the best way. It's like, yes, of course it's the same. And no, it's not. Both of those things can be true in whatever way is the most beneficent. Rivers, bodies of water, but also bodies like ours. Reincarnation, aging, consciousness. As if the same after all the parts got replaced. Not the same ship and the same hand-me-down. Identity maturedly remains. Stories have the opportunity to be independent. So like, it's like reincarnation. Who am I? What am I? This is like my thought. Like, it's like past life, future life. Who the fuck am I? What am I? Identity, personality, bodies. Like what? Living forever. I don't want to live forever. Like, it's like I want to die, but what isn't death? Like all those like conundrums. The ship of Theseus. Love will be the mission that maybe you should know. I can see the light on the love won't be the mission. So thinking in those like abstract terms, identity, I would say like maturely remains. Whatever that is, whatever I am that I am, that remains. That persists. That is eternal. But I lived this person. I was this. I was a monster. I was a savior. I was this. I was that. I was all of. However true our past lives can be, does not necessitate whatsoever that they need to have any part of our identity, about who we are now, even remembered. They can, and maybe like the opportunity is to be an aspect integrated in our identity, but there's no linear or sequential. I don't mean as the same words. I mean both of those things distinctly. Leading up to who we must be now. And past lives, reincarnation, that can be yesterday. That can be last year. That can be we were never bad. That can be that time we were the worst. Identity can persist as like a maturation. It's like a self-counting of like time. And everything else is just a story. And you're allowed to be independent. True. but not us. Because we can only be in identity what we identify when we identify. And that is like a task, it's an act, it's instantaneous. And it doesn't need to be all consuming. Because it doesn't consume all. Free, open, like open source, communal video stream as a web application, such as like YouTube, Nebula, Curiosity Stream, all these things that they endeavor, but and I'll probably make like an actual video to this. I think actually I put it in one of like my titles, like I'm gonna make a video of. Monetization is the commodification and so enslavement of our collected creativity. Everything that is the least that it could be if it were free of controlling designs. Free is a state of being. Freedom. There's no freedom without limitation. But within the limitation, you have your free movement. That is the micro, that is the macro, and everything in between. But put a dome over my head and then put me in a fucking cube. Hi, my name is Elliot. Fuck you. This is racy. Hi, my name is Elliot. World War II query. Why create death camps in the homeland? Like, with the costs of transport and policing, instead, like, create death camps inside enemy territory, close to target genocidal or genocided populace, no? Propaganda equals civilian deaths. How do you get away with lying? Kill all the people that know the truth. It's like, why do all the wars like of our modern age require like the civilian populations being like redonkulously slaughtered is in part fiction, but also only as like an embellishment, like all media. The tragedy is not the embellishment, just the numbers and like the fraction. No, that's it. No, the rest is not meant for this right now. The space between choosing your response, your responsibility, and reaction is practice. So say it again. The space between closing, that's limiting, freedom. The space between choosing your response, your responsibility, and the reaction, so like the event, is what we call practice. Success, value from others and self, stability, money. I don't know what this next note is. Oh, I think I was... It's like, oh, this is from a long time ago. 80% of power is internal. The last 20% comes from the first 80%. See what I did there? Detached, connected to observing. Objective truths. Come into observer. Mind is judgment. Body is truth acceptance. In our mind to imagine. Past and future life is lived in the body. To bring the mind into the body. Blah, 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 blah. So, things that I wrote a while ago, it's like, it's not even me anymore. And I gotta be careful. Everything that I say is wrong. Nothing that I say is the truth. Just in case you mistake anything that I say is otherwise. That is not a disclaimer. Fuck disclaimers. Hard. It's just like the truth. That's why I'm like, you said this, you said that. I'm like, I don't remember what the fuck I said, but I can tell you what I know I meant because I still mean it. Or I know what I meant then and how it's transformed into what I mean now. But fuck my words. But you said truth is body and body is mind and the mind is ego. But now you're saying the mind is good. Fuck you. You're just like fishing for bullshit. Go like punch yourself in the face instead of I don't know, like offering it to me in your like self-righteous seat. A little bit of venting, yeah, it's good for the soul. Ego is personality, is mind. Mind is closed, limited. Body, yeah. I'm not even like I can actually not say this because I would not say these in these words at all anymore. But I meant them then, and I still mean them now because like paradoxes, you know. That's beauty. Ego is personality, is mind. Mind is closed, limited. Body or presence is open to possibility. Ego/illusion is self-sustaining. Self-truth is self-creating. Wounds of the ego can best be healed sometimes like a scab. Leave it alone. Don't pick it. Sometimes. And then other times you just, pick that shit. I've never picked my scabs. It's never been something that I've done. Except for like when I think that I can like pull it all off. But that makes sense like energetically. It's not even like we've all got our vices. There's like a solution being found in these socially unaccepted things. So fucking fly your flag. You rock. When we are not in our bodies, we are not ourselves. Our thoughts are not our own. We are soulless. We are soul, comma, less. But the comma is in like the hole that I fucking love the universe. It's poetic. Hence, when we judge others or ourselves, it's not us. I don't know what that means. In our bodies, hearts, we are either open or closed, accept or resist. I'm not even fucking psychoanalyzing that shit. That's for like when I add it to like my notebooks. It's like I go over it, I write it, and then I put my like post notes. Someone's phone number. Like that's it. Like that's it, yo. Oh, one more. Oh, this is pretty. Adopt an alien approach to loving partners. that universalize truth, love in the eternal now, universalizing possession and commitment. You're my husband, you're my wife. There's no one else. There's no one else. It's like, well, what does that mean? It means like we're not just equally committed to anything and everything else as we are to each other. How committed can anyone be to anything, any singular thing, when in the same like conception, it can be perceived to be less committed and less giving and less loving to anything else. Unity consciousness is appreciable and reasonable in lots of different ways. I don't understand like polyamory. I've like explored it for 5 seconds because I don't know how can I say anything if I don't know anything? But I know that fucking monogamy isn't for me because that is not a thing. I know whatever passes as marriage and relationship with family is obviously not for me because all these preconceived notions and constructs of relationship are stagnant and static and unalive, and I don't breathe. I know through no extra help, it's effortless, that I am the most in love with that / whom I'm the most in love with. It's almost embarrassing if I wasn't so proud. And she probably doesn't even know. Except that my affection is always true. And I never lie. And I give the most. I practice not taking. I don't know what anything is supposed to look like. But love just happens. And in my relationships with like in the past, that made me think of relationships in the past. It's like, I wonder whatever happened to that person. Or I would choose one person the same, or I was more attracted to that, or and the love that I find myself in, it's like not even the same universe. And when it is, not in like quantity and quality. And when it is, she was the one I used to think of whatever happened to. And I can fall in love with everyone and anyone. I'm a fucking lover. But like the sky and the sea, let alone beautiful women to me. Any one of them, all of them, in moment to moment, but also like my prodigious imagination. recognize that what I feel for her is always like gonna be something that I always want to be closer to in comparison, if we're comparing. But her in that position, everything else becomes reflected in that beauty, and there's nothing else to see. I could go on and on, but I'm a lover and a sucker, and that's gonna be all for me. All for me. All for me, all for this broadcast. Thanks for joining me. I'm trying to find the tab where I left you, where I last saw myself in the mirror, reflecting left to right, right to left. But it looks like if I was in front of you, my right's not right. And that would fuck with me if I didn't already fuck with me. The most that was fuck. Potty mouth. 131, 45, 46, 47, 48. Thanks for joining me. Hang out. For coming to the cafe. Have a sip. Sip of coffee. Say we did it. Hope you have a lovely everything. And I look forward to everything more. I'm just so fucking sick and tired of like the ups and downs of this path and this work. And it doesn't stay the same. It gets better. But I know that just like one foot in front of the other, it's like ups and downs of like our emotions and emotionality. When people get together, when friends get together, it's one foot. So like, ups and downs just get more streamlined, and they don't have to be so down. And they're allowed to be more up. Because when we've been dragged down, what feels like, are we allowed to be this happy all the time? It's like, actually, that's the universal norm. Everyone else is like, gets really happy, and they're like, are we allowed to be this happy all the time? And they're like, no, that's not normal. We gotta bring you back down. But what we will find as fucking awesome is actually just like baseline. It's like, yeah, this is what we all enjoy. Welcome back. Thanks for having me on yours. I hope you have a lovely experience. Keep being. You're wicked. Namaste. Peace, peace, peace. Shanti, shanti, shanti.